Have you ever felt as though you're kind of stuck in limbo? Like you're standing at a crossroads in life and you don't really know which way to turn. It can be foggy, it can be uncertain, and to be honest with you, it's always a little bit scary when you're in those transitional periods of life because it's kind of the fear of the unknown. But here's the thing. Oftentimes when you're on those crossroads, when life seems the most uncertain and the scariest, that's when the biggest opportunities are in front of you. And that's when you're going to have the biggest breakthroughs. Right now, you might be feeling a little lost, right? You may be feeling a little worried and a little concerned because the path ahead of you is not clear. You may be a little concerned about your financial situation. Maybe you're in a situation right now where you're just getting ready to graduate college and you don't know what the career path is going to look like for you. Maybe you're in a particular job and there's an opportunity in front of you to transition to another company or another position. Or maybe you're just kind of at that point where you're looking to jump head in and start a business or a side hustle and you're scared and you're uncertain because you don't know what the future is going to lead for you. You're kind of comfortable and content. You don't want to risk what you have. But I got to tell you this, don't be scared. You have to take some risks in life in order to make big things happen. But at the same time, when you're forced with those decisions, when those opportunities are in front of you, that's when you really have to hone in and understand that that is a moment. That is a moment that can change your life forever. Let me explain to you one situation with me, right? My wife and I, we were living in Delaware. I was in the financial services industry and life was pretty good. She had a good job. I had a good job. And we were just kind of going through the motions every day. And we wanted something a little bit new, a little bit more exciting for our lives. So we decided to uproot everything and move to Vegas. And so we took that trek cross country, and at the time we had lined up a job. She had lined up a job for her in Vegas, and I had lined up a job for me in the mortgage industry because I figured, hey, I'm licensed, I'm well credentialed in the financial industry, so no matter where I go, a bank will be happy to have me. There's plenty of banks. The financial services industry is booming. Everything is going to be good. But you know what? It was 2007, and that's when the entire financial markets collapsed. And so on my way, as we were making that trek from Delaware to Vegas, driving across country in that U-Haul, that's when the entire ground fell out from beneath us because I got a call from the job and they rescinded the offer because the entire company was going out of business due to the financial collapse. And so we were left there with nothing. She had something lined up for herself, but let's be honest, it wasn't going to be enough because we were expecting 2 incomes coming in. And so when we got to Vegas, I tried hard and I tried desperately, and I was scared and I was hitting rock bottom and things looked like they were going to fall apart. And I tried to hold on to financial services. I was interviewed at every bank. I interviewed at every brokerage firm that was around, and nobody was hiring just because of the market conditions at the time. And I took a gamble and I put a job in at a nonprofit institution. And I got to tell you, that one opportunity changed my entire life. If it wasn't for that transitional period, if it wasn't for the fact that I had to step outside and think of other things, I would have never been in an opportunity to accept that position. And that job changed my entire life. I never understood until that moment what it is to try something new and step outside of yourself and just stop holding on to the things that you're comfortable with. Stop holding on to that contentment and understand that you may need to stretch yourself. You may need to try some new things, especially if where you're at isn't working for you or you're unhappy and you're not being fulfilled. Then that's the moment you dig in, because by working at a nonprofit institution, that changed your whole trajectory. I'm having trouble with that word. It changed our whole trajectory because at that point I realized how good it was to be able to do something that you're passionate about, to give back to your community, to help those that were less fortunate. And then slowly that changed. That started an entire new journey. It was a journey of self-reflection. It was a journey of understanding my worth and my value. It was a reflection on what it means to be compassionate to others. It brought me closer to Christ as we started attending church. It connected me with the community. It put me in a position where I was able to hone in on my skills, eventually go back to college, get my degree in organizational leadership, be able to manage a team of reps, go out into community and do press releases and be on the news and hang out with celebrities and backstage VIP passes. I would have never have taken that opportunity Had it not been for my wife at the time, I'll give her all the credit for this. She said, Paul, you're going to apply for that job. And I said, there's no way I'm applying for that job because that is not banking. That is not what I'm interested in. This is what I'm interested in. But out of sheer desperation, out of a sheer lack of no other opportunities, I went ahead, I applied for it, and that started a journey that catapulted me to so many other great things in our lives. And eventually that journey escalated, and it was a great journey for about 7 or 8 years, however long that was. But just like anything else, your journeys are going to have those peaks and valleys. And there was a point in time where that journey was coming to an end, and we had to embark on the next journey, which took us to the next state. But during that, again, there was that uneasy period. There was that fork in the road where we had to decide, are we going to sit here and just stick with the status quo? Or are we going to understand that we've grown, and we've grown spiritually, we've grown financially, we've grown professionally, we've grown, with our hearts and our minds, and there was something new and there was a new challenge that awaited us somewhere else. And so we had to dig in and get into it. So I understand how it is. These crossroads are always scary. It can be uncertain. There's going to be times where you feel like giving up. There's going to be times where you feel like you're alone. There's times where you feel like there's nobody that understands. The stress, the burden, it can be ridiculous. It can have an impact on you. It can even affect not just your mental health, but your physical health. And this is what I encourage you today. If you're going through one of those peaks or one of those valleys, if you're kind of in that pivotal moment where something was taken away from you, or you're in that transitional period of your life, I want you to understand this. Number one, that fear, that doubt, that uncertainty, it's only temporary. It's going to change once you find something else to get yourself into and dig into. I also want to encourage you that when you're going through those peaks and the valleys and you're uncertain and you're scared and there's fear creeping in, that's what I want you to double down and dig in and really find out what it is that you're curious about, and start learning new things, start taking your passions into your own hands and find a way to make it happen. We've never been in a better moment in a time where there's the opportunities that are available to monetize your gifts, your skills, and your talents. So find what it is that's going to keep you occupied, that's going to keep your mind free, and dig in and start doing something. Take on a passion project, take on a volunteer project, do something outside of work to make yourself feel better, to build a community of people, and you never know where that's going to lead you. You may just network with some people that may open up the doors of opportunities. And if you're in a situation now where a current door is closing, be thankful for that, because that door closing means that you're now ready to open to the next door. You can't get to one room without going through the door, exiting the other room, right? If I'm going from my bedroom into the bathroom, I have to first walk through the door in my bedroom and then walk through the door to get into the bathroom. So you got to walk through one door to go through the next door. And so you got to be thankful for those opportunities and understand what it is. It's an opportunity now for you to transition and pivot yourself and go and take advantage of that next opportunity. And so if you're somebody that's kind of going through one of those transitional periods, if you're facing fear, doubt, and uncertainty, and you don't know if you're at that crossroads and you don't know where you're going to go next, then I want to encourage you then to make sure you comment down below. Let us know what you're scared about. Let us know your fears, and I'm sure there's going to be a community of people that are willing to surround you and comment and give you some encouragement and some excitement. If nobody else is, I know I'm definitely rooting for you, because I know that you are going to open up the floodgates of opportunities. And when all else fails, I want to point you to Scripture, because if there is nobody else, if you can't find peace and comfort in anything, if there's nobody else in your life, then Jesus is always going to be there, and we can turn to Scripture and find some encouragement. And today's encouragement is coming from John 16:33. It says, "These things I have spoken to you, so that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but take courage. I have overcome the world." So Jesus is telling us that there will be tribulations. Nothing's going to be easy. You're going to go through your struggles, but have courage. Go and conquer it. Hold on to that fear. Hold on to that doubt, uncertainty. Use that as a leverage to propel you to the next thing that's going to be powerful. And your breakthrough is going to be right there. And if you're somebody who's kind of lost in life and you feel as though that you're being forced to be somebody you're not and you're uncomfortable, then I just want to point you to this video over here that I put up a couple of days ago talking about the importance of you being yourself. And hopefully if this didn't encourage you, that will. And That's all I have for you today. So I'm your boy Paul. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.